In this section, we're going to start with some styles and how AngularJS works with styles and what you need to know, because AngularJS throws a lot of code into the background that you don't know of, and it can get complicated quickly. So if you check this out, here's our input. We're doing an inspect element on the input, and we're going to see all these classes, and that's coming from AngularJS. So ng model, we put that in there, required, and the min length, that I just added that. And then you have all these classes: ng pristine, ng valid, invalid, required. So what this means is AngularJS adds this class when a form is loaded and it hasn't been touched by the user. And then invalid means that it doesn't pass whatever validation you specify. And required is also coming from here, required, because we need it to have data, not to be blank. So watch this change when I add some data. Click on the input type, and now it's ng dirty. So AngularJS changed the class from pristine to dirty, meaning it's got data in there, but it doesn't know anything else right now. What I did was add designs to those buttons, so you can follow along the same design, or you can do your own design. But here's the source code. You can pause the video, copy this to get the buttons looking like mine, and the same with the hover and the input. So this is the input style that we have for our buttons, for the input tags, and this is how you want the override Angular style. So for input, if you want to change the color of the invalid class, you do this ng-invalid-ng dirty, and here I'm just gonna have this nice design of a gold shadow, box shadow. Save it. So in your create.html file, this is something you want to add. In AngularJS, there's a whole bunch of these, and it gets complicated quickly. So right now, we're just going to use ng-min length, meaning it has to have a minimum of 3 characters for the question and 1 for the answer. So that way you can see what happens when the form is required. So refresh your form where you have this, and we have, if we put in 1 character and tab over, it turns yellow, so it activates the class and the design I chose. Otherwise, if it's ABC, that's 3 characters, it's no longer the yellow gold that I signed. Same thing with this. It's 1, that means it passes, it applies the gold class only if it's 0, because I made it to be a minimum of 1. If I change it to 3 or 4, refresh it, A, B, C, that's 3, turns yellow, 4, it goes away. So you can see that the classes change, and now go back to select 1 and onto these buttons. So everything should be working now. You have add, remove, and class. And then the next thing, what we want to do is add some links to play and be able to go back to the other page. So in your create.html file, add a new link called play. I'm going to just use a greater than symbol to make it look pretty neat. Save it, reload, and we'll just have that wrapped a piece, so it's going to be on its own line. There we go. And it goes to the questions. So in the next section, we're going to throw in the questions.